This is Global Morning.
Welcome. It's the second segment of Global Morning Weekend, and this is the sports segment where we'll be exploring a crucial part of every athlete's journey, their relationship with the media and how it can shape their identity, their influence, and their long-term career, both on and off the field. And who's better to speak with than one of Nigeria's most respected Olympians, Chika Chukwumerije, Belgium's 2008 bronze medalist, taekwondo champion, sports administrator, and a driving force behind grooming the next generation of fighters. Welcome. It's good to have you, Chika Chukwumerije.
Anite, thank you. Good to be here.
I'm so excited to see you because I know how I had to tell you that you need to come. So we have to talk about all of this because I love your passion. I love the way you carry when it comes to taekwondo thing and how you do your thing, basically. But for many athletes, training and discipline are only half of the story. The other half, often overlooked, is the visibility, the storytelling, and building a positive connection with fans through the media. So from post-match interviews to social media presence and documentary features, the media plays a powerful role in shaping how the public sees the athletes and even how the athletes sees themselves. Let's look at in today's lessons. Guess understands very well, but for you, how has this panned out for you in the past years, 2008, and we still have you relating with us, the media. Let's understand your perspective on that.
My perspective is simple. It's a symbiotic relationship. The media drive visibility, they drive publicity, and the athletes provide content.
Sure.
Basically. And why this is important is I want the athletes to look at it from an economic point of view.
Oh, great.
Good. You see, you have brands who want to sell their products and services to people. And most of these people tend to be the fans that watch entertainment events.
Okay.
You know? So they're looking for who can better promote or propagate our version of things. And that's where who they see on TV, who they hear on the radio, who they see on social media,
Great.
they now start looking for athletes who fits in with their brand, who can tell their story, who can communicate. So when you have an athlete that actually shies away from putting themselves out there, from using the media to build their reputation, to build their perception, then you find out that they're on the losing end of things because potentially they lose those opportunities. So for me, I understand why many athletes shy away from it.
Okay.
One, it can reduce our performance because of the pressure.
Okay, I see that now.
You are always on TV and you've got critics, you've got people who want you to do well, so you want to deliver. So it puts you under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
So I think that's one reason why athletes shy away from it.
Okay.
But why they shouldn't is, and that's where, like my team, when I build them, I used to conduct media training for them.
Oh, great.
On how to relate with the media. And really, you guys just want good content for your viewers.
For your viewers, sure.
And I explained to them that no, they're not trying to hang you out to dry. Just be yourself and present so story and build your own story around it. So I actually do think that without the media, the career of the athlete cannot really go as far as it should go.
Sure.
Because the media actually helps the career of the athletes to that trajectory.
That's trajectory, true.
Especially when you're performing well. So once you're performing well, there are many athletes that actually perform well, but they are not visible.
Very true.
So they've got no stage to
build on or to climb.
build on, you know. So for me personally, I had a good personal relationship with the media. I remember Beijing. I had quite a few media friends that I was close to, and they knew my story. They knew how long I had been working hard, and they kept covering. And this is another thing. It doesn't matter whether you lose a match
No, it
or you
doesn't
don't lose.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It really doesn't. But they will cover you and take your story out to people.
For people to see and hear.
And find out that when you build your brand, people are not just interested in, okay, you scored that goal or you made that shot. They're interested in who are you as a person. What do you like wearing? Where do you go to? What's your philosophy on life? What relationships are you into? Your bad moments, when have you been weak?
And the chips are down.
Yes, because that gives them courage to say, okay, if this person maybe had an issue with drugs and he came out of it, or he had an issue with depression, how did he overcome it, So I encourage athletes to use the media platform to, shape perception, help people out there to somebody has a problem that you
have overcome.
can give them the solution to,
Yeah.
So it's quite a very interesting subject.
Okay. So over the years, you've spent decades using your platform not just to win medals, but to monitor and inspire younger talent through your Taekwondo Foundation and high performance training camps. It's also opening doors for young fighters across Nigeria and also in Africa, and teaching them that media engagement is a tool for growth, not a distraction. And I love the fact that you said you even train them to understand how to manage the media and how to present themselves. But even on the global stage, the Olympics, Continental Championship, global sports conferences, how important is the media in shaping an athlete's journey, which you've actually given us a breakdown about visibility. But aside visibility, what else? Storytelling alone, or what else do you think is really the relevance of this media? Because we have our own our audience, basically.
Okay, now you can talk about the traditional media and social media,
Sure.
because social media has kind of changed the game a lot. Before, the fans used to engage with the athletes through maybe what the traditional media, right?
Tells you.
But now, because of social media, you find a lot of athletes engaging directly
To the fans.
to the fans. And this has given them an opportunity to tell their own story, how it wants to be told.
Citizen journalism has come in.
So before, if you come and just say, this is what happened, we'll take it how it is, because that was traditional media.
True.
When in social media, you see an athlete to go on live and say, no, this was my vision, this was what happened, So one, you can tell your own story.
Okay.
And that gives you an opportunity to reach more brands directly, to grow your engagement with fans and all that. So that's one. Two, you've actually seen people who have got signed up or they've come to scout them because of what they put out there in the media.
Okay.
So you are so good, but nobody sees you. But when the media puts you out in the spotlight, or social media puts you out in the spotlight, a scout can say, oh, wow, that's not bad. Let's go and check them out.
Sure.
So there are people who have gotten those kind of opportunities. Then you've got revenue opportunities. Of course, brands seeing you and saying, oh, I like how this person speaks. I like how he or she composes themselves. I think they align with our brand. Oh, they look further. Okay. We like the fan base. They have quite a good following. Let's sign them up. That's potential revenue. And lastly, there are some athletes who now use it as a platform for advocacy, something that is important to you.
Okay.
It might be religious, it might be maybe for women, women rights, feminism, social issues, whatever. So you find that as the platform grows, you also have a voice to add to, the voice of your community or whatever. So, but as athletes climb this ladder, as this visibility, goes up and up, it also comes with some disadvantages,
True.
And personally for me, one of the major issues was like anxiety and depression.
Oh,
Yes, it puts quite a lot of pressure on you. You're always checking, are there likes? Then you're looking at the comments, And you don't realize these comments, most times, they're not personal.
They're not.
Someone can just be giving an analysis. Oh, you played badly. You should have kicked like this, and you did like that. And you take it personally, and it affects
plays in your
mood.
head.
And over time, you get fatigued. You get mental fatigue, and it starts to affect your performance and all that. So even though it has all these benefits,
It has disadvantages.
it has some disadvantage, and that's why I really recommend that when we run like national camp for athletes, especially when they are young, we need to incorporate media training to tell them, okay, this is how we handle issues. So you just finished a match,
Okay.
you lost. At that point, you don't want to talk to anybody. And that's when they put a camera in your face. And you have to prepare them for those moments. Or when they ask you controversial issues that you don't want to talk about, how do you respond to it? They ask you personal questions you don't want to talk about, how do you respond to it? You know, how do you promote your sports?
Okay.
You know, and all that. So when you do this kind of training, then what happens is, for me, when I look at the big picture, if I run a federation or I have athletes under me, I'm going to be seeing how can I make these guys a product that are wanted by brands. And why this is important is it becomes an avenue where they can earn. And it saves, they're going to help their families and help people around them. So from beginning, I'm building the character of the athletes so that they are presentable, they are well-spoken, they can network, they can communicate.
Very true.
And when you have a lot of athletes that are like this, it's easy for companies, brands, organizations, NGOs to come and say, we want to work with this sport, we want to work with these athletes.
Very
and
true.
you now have your legal team that will now give them opportunities, you know. So when I see from this light, for me, it's a non-brainer.
Okay.
It's not just bringing them to the training facility, improving their speed, their power. They are as fit as a muscle. But when you put a camera in front of them, they rather face a lion in the jungle than
that
talk on the
camera.
camera. Yeah.
I see that you've done a lot of trainings and you have the mental picture to what I was trying to project to you, basically, because I see that's how you've been able to manage your own strength and your capacity and image and kind of reflection you want society to see you. And it is a good one that you're putting that back. Well, let's look at, you've become a mentor, you've become a trainer, and you're creating the pathway for young talents to rise. How does the media expose help transform grassroots athletes into global figures? Because at the grassroots point now, they don't understand this, except you who has been training, who is standing as a mentor now. Of course, you have your team who you're also training. So how do you groom them to understand that global stage and managing themselves?
One, I have a personal relationship with the media.
Very true.
So, excuse me, with many of my friends in the media, when I sit down, they say, Chika, what's your vision?
Okay.
And I say, well, I want to produce this kind of athletes who they're educated, they are champions, they are this, they are that. And they say, okay, how are you going to do that? I say, okay, these are the training programs I have in store for them. Because you see, in supply chain, it's always about the value chain.
Very true.
So you look at the start and the end, and you say, okay, these are the raw materials, and this is the finish point. So between here and here, what needs to go into this young girl, this young boy, and what waste needs to come out, so that by the time they get there, they're at that point. So this is how I think. And apart from the physical training, the technical training, the tactical training, media training is also very important. And because of the scope of what we're talking about, I'm not going to go into other issues like welfare and the trainers they need. I'm focusing on the media.
Yeah.
So from beginning, like with my team, like Elizabeth, in fact, all of them that went through, I used to get a friend of mine who was a journalist, and we used to do video calls, and we used to do like full workshops for them.
Okay.
And we will set up the cameras, and we'll bring them in an interview
Set up.
situation like this, and
Okay.
we'll get them to sit down, and we'll now interview them. What is their responses? Then give them like examples of how to respond to it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sometimes we just finish training and we'll do the same when they're under pressure. So that was kind of my media training. You catch them
great.
at various points.
Okay.
When they just won, so that time when your ego
You're
is high in the air, you have to just pretend you're humble, even if you're not. So you just beat a team like 10-0.
And you're feeling proud.
Yeah, and they ask you, how do you feel? You say, oh, it was very difficult. The person gave me a good fight. You give kudos because it's just the etiquette of sports.
True.
No vanquish, no, exactly, When you lose, what happens? Okay, in sports, we lose some, we win some. Today, that was the person's day.
Tomorrow
I'm going to
will be
go
your
back.
day.
I'm going to study. I'm going to work hard.
Sure.
I'm going to make sure I come back. And so when you train them like this, then you're building them towards when they become elite athletes.
Very true.
Because nothing looks so bad as an accomplished athlete, a performing athlete who does not behave well on the podium. It irritates the skin.
It does, actually.
So that is how I and my team used to go about building them from the grassroots,
Okay.
So even when we have tournaments at the grassroots, I say, interview them. Especially the ones that run away. They're the ones I catch. I said, no, you have to
You
talk.
have to talk, so you build yourself. Well, I like the trainings and how because you've competed on the global stage and you understand what the media is and you've been able to build personal relationship. At what point did you realize that media visibility was just not just important as performance on the mat? Let's look at the importance of you being visible and the media giving you that edge. At what point in your career did you realize that's made you come very close to the media?
Okay. In my career,
Yes,
I'll confess.
Yes, I want to understand.
I think the experience I have, let me say I didn't benefit from my experience because my career had already ended.
Okay, before you realized
So
that.
like many athletes, they actually avoided. So this friendship with the media was behind the camera.
That you had it, so you didn't. So now you understand. That's why you're training these ones
So
to get it
behind
better.
the camera, I was very comfortable with talking with them because maybe because I'm a bit cerebral in nature. I found many journalists, just like in camp, I was very close with always the medical team.
Yeah.
Because I found them to be very intellectual. And as an athlete, that helped me a lot. I used to go a lot. You see me in the medical department a lot. I used to see me with our media crew a lot. So we used to talk about everything and performance. So it helped me a lot.
Okay, right.
Good. But from your perspective, how I saw that it hampered me was, you see, for the athlete, and this is very important, by the time you finish your career, you're going to be like maybe in your 30s. And maybe you finish school maybe in your early 20s. The people you finished with, they've had a lot of experience with applying for jobs, packaging themselves.
I'm telling you.
They've gone through all
hurdles.
that rejection, and so they have a lot of those real life skills.
Yeah.
We don't. We wake up and we train between 4 and 8 hours a day, depending on what sport you're in. And by the time we're done with our careers, you suddenly find there's almost a depression that sets in because you're in this career that all you were doing was just train, compete, not compete. And you're back to the real life where you have to pay bills, you have to reintegrate into society.
Yeah.
So what I'll tell them is this relationship with the media builds for you a business opportunity that regular people who are not in the sports field cannot have. So you have the name recognition and you have all those going for you.
Real life.
So when you have a good relationship with the media that's giving you a platform, you can use it to leverage for deals, brand endorsements. If you start your business, you find out that if Chika Chukwumereje wants to apply for a contract now, and I go through the whole process of the bid. When I get to that place, because of what I did
Relationship.
in sports,
Yeah.
because of all those news items that you guys used to put me out there. I know that guy that you won the
So
Africa.
thing.
So it's a breaker for us. Suddenly they don't need to fact check who this guy
Yes,
is.
yes.
For the others, they need to first fact check who are you? Who are we
Dealing with.
dealing with? But with you, if maybe a Marion Yali walks in, or Blessing or Buduru, or all those our stars, they've got the brand.
Got the brand
So
already.
that is what the media helps you do. It gives you that platform to whatever you're doing, whether you're running an NGO, running a business, working in a company, you want brand endorsement, you can leverage on it.
Yeah, very
But
true.
for you to be able to leverage on it, we have to teach them
On that
how
skill.
exactly they
To
need
do
to
that.
leverage on it.
Yeah. Well, from there's been a lot of athletes who have struggled to balance that, and I
Yeah.
see that you've done that. You've learned to balance the stress, the demand, constantly being in the spotlight, and I see you integrating this into the younger ones whom you're training. From your experience, what's the biggest mistake athletes make when dealing with the media, and how can they avoid it?
To think things through.
Okay.
One, a conscious decision to not avoid them.
Okay.
We avoid them a lot. We shouldn't.
We're not flakes.
Two, when you do meet them, they are human. Watch what you say. Think
Careful.
about it carefully.
True.
Don't be under pressure. If you ask me something I do not want to answer, you don't need to flare up. I'm sorry, this
Not the
question
right
is
time.
uncomfortable for me, or it's not the right time. So we teach them how to handle it. You
Okay.
know. Three, your communication should be concise. And what is your message?
Straight up.
You know, what is your take on this? Think about it. Take a few seconds. Make sure it's not something you regret that you said later. Is this something that improves your reputation and your brand? Is this something that improves the reputation of your sport? Is this something that if your friends and family watch later, you'll be okay with? And when you can think through this, then you will be good,
Good to
you
go.
know. So I think that's just what I advise them. One, don't avoid
Okay.
the media. And when you avoid them, be very deliberate about
Okay.
what you say.
About what you say. Well, we've talked about the social media space and the digital era. How critical is social media to building an athlete's brand, especially for sports like taekwondo that don't always get headline coverages?
Very, very important. Now you have the opportunity to talk directly to your family,
Oh, great.
to build a fan base. The social media gives you a voice to tell your story how you want it to be told. So if someone says something that you think is not right, you want to respond, you can easily go live or make a video and post your own version of things,
Okay.
and it can go viral. So social media has a lot of benefits, you know. So you can connect to people around the world.
Okay.
So I remember sometimes on my page, you find out people were viewing what I was doing from Egypt, from Cote d'Ivoire, from the US, from the UK. It gives you that kind of reach,
Leverage as well.
you know. You find out that social media can help you with revenue generation, reaching out to brands you don't know. You find out that it gives you a platform for advocacy, you know. But as I said, for me, the number one drawback for social media is the cyberbullying.
True.
It leads to anxiety, it leads to depression, so mental health issues. And for an athlete, that does
You don't
not go
need it
well
at
with
all.
performance at all.
No.
You know. The second drawback for me is addiction. So some people tend to get addicted to it in that they can't get their hands off the phone. If by mistake their data finishes,
They're out of this world.
exactly, you know, so then they don't sleep well again because every other they wake up they have to
One
check.
second, they're going to check
Did
that.
anybody check my page? Did they like? Did they say something? And lastly, their constant need to engage, because when you start engaging directly with
can't
fans,
stay.
you can't stay away. So if somebody comments on something, sometimes you have to respond. So how much do I respond back? How much do I not?
What time do you have to even go back to training?
So I think social media is very, very important in today's age, but it comes with its benefits, it comes with its drawbacks. So we also have to teach them how to maybe sometimes switch off
Okay.
for a week.
Okay.
Sometimes limit the time. Decide who I respond to or not.
Okay.
You don't need to respond to everybody. Just like in real life, you won't respond.
It's not everything
any-
you say. It's not everything you answer because
So, so when you do the media training, the social media has almost taken the front burner.
true.
You know, in the athletes have to now learn how to respond and work with the traditional media, but also how to use social media to their maximum benefit in a way that does not
Dents their image,
their performance
and their performance.
and does not damage their image and their reputation.
Okay, so I talking about reputation. You've built your reputation not just through medals, but through discipline and consistency. How can young athletes intentionally shape their narrative in the public eye, which you've also talked about a bit of that. But I just wanted to make them see reasons to how you were able to put in discipline more. Because that's one of the key words. If you don't have discipline, you can't even, because I know you and your social media. Should we talk about it? So let's talk about that part, discipline basically, how that should help them in the public eye.
The number one, if
Yeah.
I'm an Olympic medalist, is because of discipline.
Exactly.
I can literally count how many fights I had in my entire career before I went to the Olympics.
Okay.
It's not normal.
Okay.
And I had more imaginary competitions in the backyard of my family home with my
Okay.
brother,
Okay.
because I accepted that we didn't have the right infrastructure and the right human knowledge. And the Almighty was very kind to me that I had the gift for analysis and hard work.
Okay.
So I used to research. And sometimes with my brother Uche, he also won, he also became African champion.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll host a whole tournament in the back of our house.
Very
So
good.
what does it mean? We'll wake up at 5:30, which is when I wake up anytime I have a competition. We'll go through the warm-up routine. Then we'll go to the back, and after the main warm-up in the morning, maybe like 1 hour before my fight, I'll start warming up again.
Oh, great.
And we'll do like shadow fighting with bags and stuff for the 2 hours, 3 minutes. At that point, we used to compete for 2 hours, 3 minutes. And when we finish the first fight, we'll hold on for 2 hours, just like in a real tournament. And we'll maintain in our heads, we are wherever we're in the world hosting a tournament.
Oh, great.
And with this kind of mental work, a lot of times, but it requires a lot of discipline.
Okay.
A discipline to ignore. You come to camp, you know you should have this or that, but to keep your eyes on the ball, you know. We go out, I get to other countries, I see teams with their full complement of, you know, they have their physio, their masseur, they have like 2 coaches,
Medical.
3 trainees, they have everything. You see their kids, wow, so many.
Okay.
And you're here. Sometimes I even go without. There was a time I went for a tournament, I went with just the physiotherapist because I had money for just 2 people. So it was take the coach or take the physio.
So make up your mind.
Yeah, I took the physio because I said,
You'll be your own coach.
I'll find a coach there, you know. But
Oh, my.
it took a lot of mental discipline
I get
to mental and physical discipline. So my advice is, it's tough, but the work I did makes it easier for Nigeria Taekwondo.
Okay.
Now I've produced another Olympian.
Great.
It tells us that it's possible. I
Very
didn't like
possible.
this talk that, oh, we need to be there or there. No, she did it from here.
Very
She
good.
came from a very humble background and she went all to the top. And it gives me confidence to know that, look,
You know, it's
I might not have all the equipment, but if you give me a bunch of young people and you give me 6 years with them,
You can mold them.
will produce Nigerians that will be on the podium.
Awesome.
And the foundation of that is on discipline. Your vision should be clear, it should be consistent, then ignore the noise. People
Silence the noise.
They're worried that what did they say about you? What did you
People don't know how to silence the noise, and at
I'm
what point to
just
silence.
be silent, and that is the objective, and give yourself a time frame.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for me, once you have discipline and your vision is clear, you use
run
what
with
you
it.
have, you run with it.
All right, great. I like that focus. But let's look the role what role do you think storytelling plays in building a legacy for an athlete beyond the competition? Because we talked about how the media has helped you, and the storytelling has also helped you push out, and you've trained them. You've trained from what you're doing. I don't understand what that smile is for, but let's get that straight. I just want to understand how the storytelling has played that legacy for you as an athlete. Because 2008, this is 2025.
You tell your story. Let me tell you two stories.
Okay.
I'll first tell a story because she's the one I handed over to. So right now, Elizabeth is the face of Taekwondo.
Great.
So I'll take 1 minute and tell her story. So I'll tell you the importance of storytelling.
Okay.
You see, Elizabeth's father is a clergyman, he's a pastor, and the mom used to sell kunu. They used to stay in Lube. So when you go to where they stay, with me, the excuse is, oh, his dad was a senator now. So you can't quite argue that was not the reason. But with her, you can say, okay, she came from down there,
beginning, yeah.
And the sporting was just her talent. I saw a young person, and I said, the first thing I said to her is that, look, if you give me 7 years, I'll get you to the Olympics. And that was it. And over the time, in fact, there was a time that she sent me a text and said there was no food in her house. This was after I got her to her first All-African Games when she won the bronze. So a few months later, there was no food in her house. And I said, come over, and I gave her some food stuff and all that. So she came from a story of struggling.
Sure.
But the training was hard. She cried. Sometimes she would lose, she would cry, and I was saying, no, keep the story
pushing.
up. Now, I'll tell you why I told you the story. In 2020, before Tokyo, we had to go for an event before the Olympics. I wanted to expose her, but we didn't have enough money, and we've not yet gotten money from the ministry, so we had to raise money. And Nigerians raised 3.5 million in 4 days.
Wow.
I remember that campaign. I came out and I said, please, I want Elizabeth to go and compete. I didn't tell my story.
You told someone
I said,
else's.
see where she's coming from. See who her parents were. See the background. At that point, she was in Futo, she was in school, she was studying, and she was doing this. I just told her story. And people were responding. Some people were donating 1,000, 10,000, 5,000. I think there were about, if I remember, about 189 donations. But everything came to 3.5 million.
Which is beautiful.
That is how we went for that event. That is the power of storytelling.
Awesome.
And for every athlete, tell your story in such a way that you can use whatever support you get to achieve your objectives.
Okay. Well, I see the power of storytelling, which is one of the reasons why I felt you were the best bet to tell the story. You've become a powerful mentor to young Taekwondo's talents. How do you teach them media engagement too? It's not just about the distraction. Yes, obviously, we've talked about that. There's a whole lot of distraction from grassroots to international competitions, championship. What gaps do you see? How young Nigerian athletes are presented to the world? Because there's always a distraction. Sometimes I'll take, for instance, Super Eagles. I'm just bringing that as an example. Look at what happened in the playoffs and all that. That is one distraction. And Nigerians, trust us, when the mojo is high, we jump at it. But when it's low, there's a whole lot of bashing. Yeah. So how do you help them? What gaps do you see in the Nigerian athletes? How can they manage that space at that point?
The mentorship, the coaches, that's where they come in.
Okay.
When you deal with young athletes, they don't yet have the maturity to handle these things.
The pressures.
So the maturity and experience of their handlers is very important.
Okay.
What I went through, I don't want them to go through.
Very true.
I used to multitask. I used to write my own training programs. So Beijing, London, my program got the same program I adapted for Elizabeth. So I used to do my own logistics. So my own flights, my own hotels and stuff. But it shouldn't be. It's
That way.
not normal, you know. And it was a distraction for me. So with them, everything that will make them take their eyes off the ball in training, I shield them for it,
Oh, good.
you know. And that's what I advise to coaches and sports administrators and anyone who mentors young people. These problems, solve it within yourselves. Don't allow them be bothered about it because one little distraction.
Just takes it off.
So if holding their phone, being on the social media would distract them, and I used to do it. I used to have a box.
Okay. So you collect phones?
Yes, I used to have a box because at one point I noticed they were sleeping late. My team used to train early. I used to make them train at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, great.
Sometimes because I was building their mental strength.
Okay.
So when they come, some of them will be like really tired. So I knew that this person was on the phone. They didn't sleep early. So I had a room. I'll just say, okay, 10 p.m.
Lights out.
Actually, I said 8:30 p.m. and I put it lights out. And they negotiated, oh, please. So you compromise a bit. So I said, okay, 10 p.m.
All right.
But if I don't notice an improvement, we shift it back.
Shift it back.
So you basically, everything that will distract them. And it could be hunger. It could be a problem with a family member, a friend. So you have to be sensitive to those issues, you know, where is it coming from, and aggressively block it
Tackle
out,
it.
especially if the game is nearby. It just takes a little
Distraction.
thing. I remember watching, I think the last Olympics, the table tennis world #1. I think he won a gold in one event, and I think as he was having interactions either with the media or somebody, his bat broke. So the next day, he had another match, but he had to use another bat. And in my head, I was like, because you're attached mentally to that
particular
equipment.
one.
So it might be the same, but it is not the same. So at that moment, I knew that was a distraction. And if he won, man, it means his mental
Miracle.
strength will have been very high, you know. So towards the event, anything that distracts them, oh, they've not been paid, oh, they are not kitted well,
Let's get it
they're
off.
not wearing the right size, oh, too many calls, you cut it all
Cut
off,
it off.
you know. So at that point, it's not, for me, it's not a lecture to the young people.
Okay.
It's like telling, I have these toddlers in my dojo and they're like 4, 5.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
tell them to sit still. It's impossible.
Now that stage, no. You can't.
No. Come here. Sit down. So if I'm out, sit down. So with athletes, with distraction, that's all you do.
That's
It's,
all you
it's
have
not
to
something you teach. It's something that you
You-
show them,
you
you
impose.
put the restrictions in place to make sure that they are not as distracted as possible.
Okay.
Of course, once in a while, you get those natural
Reactions,
ones that are just tuned in, and those are the dreams of every coaches.
Okay.
But generally, you should have a system that keeps distractions to the minimum.
Cops. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could redesign the way the media covers young athletes, what would you change?
Sorry, come again.
The way the media, if you were to redesign
Okay.
the way the media covers young athletes or generally athletes, what would you change?
I would like to see the media and sports federations work closer together.
Okay.
Sports federations should organize workshops for the media to teach them how to cover their sports.
Okay.
When you understand a sport more, it's easier for you to cover it in different angles,
Oh,
not
great.
from a layman's perspective.
Okay.
So federations can do more in doing media pallies and saying, this is what our sports are about. Telling them your major players, athletes in that sport. And telling them those, it's not just, the person scored 10 wickets or 10 goals, Tell them their background stories. Give them content that they want to cover.
Okay.
Make it interesting. So that's one. Two, I don't know how, because sports media is different from like the political media or entertainment media, or but how can we bridge it more? How can you see more sports news in the general news and all that? So I don't know if that makes sense.
It shouldn't be towards the end like we always do it.
Yeah. So yes, the Nigerian sports media have really, really been good. They try and reach out a lot, but
True.
Federations have to also help them by doing more programs. Programs are not enough.
They're not, sincerely, they're not.
You have to do every state, do programs every weekend, to have leagues, bring up these tools so that they have what they can
have content
cover,
to talk to about.
So that working together with the sports administrators, then there must be a point at which we must connect the private sector and the government sector.
Okay.
Because all this for me is an opportunity to increase the GDP.
Oh, great.
And many countries, when they speak of sport, they speak in billions of dollars.
And we're still
But we have not yet been there. We're not developing an athletes as products. They will say, how many medals are they going to win at the Olympics? And I am saying, how many companies are willing to sign up to 1,000 athletes from this sport?
From this country or this
How many of them fits the brand profile of this? So that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay, your infrastructure. How many of you have built event management teams so that you can do consistent events and make it interesting? There was a time I went to watch a match in Bayern Munich. I went to visit my friends in Germany, and I was quite, the sports entertainment around the football game. So even if I don't like football, I can go with my family, sit down, and there are other things to do. And I remember that each time I do an event, whether I did the CCSF Opens or even in Abuja and all that, I make sure that my events, you get vendors around, you get food vendors, art vendors, things that make it interesting.
Okay.
In the planning committees I always make sure I have 2 or 3 media people in.
Great.
Because they help. They say, oh, Chika, you see, the viewers want to see it like this, or why not do it like that? So these are some of the suggestions. When you have events, not just the planners, bring in the media into your planning committee.
Okay.
When you're developing your athletes and your training programs, don't just do technical and tactical training. Okay. Bring in the media and say, okay, can you do a media course for us?
Okay.
Ask the media, when you cover a program, what kind of talking points do you want to see? Are you looking forward to? So that you can come up with those talking points for them and tell them, So in this way, the media can help a lot, the federations, to build a system that can, over the long run, help the GDP.
Great.
And once we start achieving that, then we're not just talking of athletes winning medals at the Olympics. We're talking of a sport that is creating jobs, that is creating jobs and similar kind of stuff.
Okay, great. You've transitioned from athletes to mentor, administrator, and trainer. How has your relationship with the media evolved through the stages from an athlete to a mentor to a trainer and an administrator? But how, because you talked about the symbiotic relationship, you talked about how that has helped, how you left the stage, how you were able to manage the media to bring them into the business space for you. So let's just see you capitalize on that.
Clarity.
Okay.
I just see it as I just see it as it is. I'm genuine.
Okay.
So as an athlete, long before I won at the Olympics, I said I want an Olympic medal.
Great.
And I want to be national champion.
Okay.
And the media followed me and watched and watched and watched. So that when I did it, it was not a fluke. They knew Chika was working
As you
hard.
said, it's over time.
And when I finished as an athlete, I said, okay, my next step is I want to train an Olympian. So you guys knew years before time. I said, this is how I'm going to do it. So I said, these are the challenges. It's too heavy for me, but
You can carry on.
but this is the goal. And we kept working. We kept working. And so the media is very instrumental. Like, I'll give you an example. For 4 years, I've actually been almost media silent because I was tired.
Okay.
I said after Tokyo, I was going to take a rest. And I actually told most of my media friends that, look, I need to sort out some
Few
things.
things.
I was training my team because actually I have a team for the 2032 and 2036 Olympics. That's my
Awesome.
next focus.
Awesome.
You know? So, oh, Chika, why are you going for so long? I said, because this Nigeria project, we die here.
I'm telling you.
So, but I'm tired, and you don't give up when you're tired. What happens is that when you're tired, you take a break. You know?
Refresh
So
your
maybe in
course.
4 years, I might back to the federation. If I'm rested, I'm still doing my project. But because I communicate to them what I want to do at any point in time, and because we have a genuine friendship,
True.
they're able to respect the wishes. Like most times they'll call and say, can we do an interview on this issue? I'll say, please, I'm not quite. And they will understand. They've been so understanding to me regaining my mental health, you know. So I think that is how I've been able to transition.
Great.
You know. So like from next year, I'll be out more to do more grassroots programs. And I'm already telling my friends that, look, I'm going to come out soon. No, I need your help. You know, I've already done this. I've written my program, become an Olympian. I've developed another Olympian. So I've shown that it can be done.
Yeah.
Okay, how can we multiply this effect? So I need you to be able to tell our audience that this is what we're doing.
This is where
you
we
know.
are as well.
So when you communicate clearly like that, you say, this is how I want you to help. Then you find out that where people can help, they will help. And where they can't help, at least they will
They'll
clap for you.
Applaud the same.
Applaud the same.
Yeah. So finally, what single advice would you give any young athletes watching you right now about owning the spotlight, like owning it, basically, with all of this?
Don't focus on, I want to be famous.
Okay.
You have a love for the sport. Focus on performance. I want to be the best I can be in this sport, you know. So don't play for the cameras and don't play for the likes and the clicks. Play because when you enjoy the sport, you enjoy the results, you want to be number one. And to be number one requires you to be totally zoned in, you know. So having said that, see the media as your friends in this project to become number one because they can help your career. The media can help take you from a mediocre team to a team on the top. The media can help you get the visibility that someone who is going to help finance your training programs, your trips, will see it and say, okay, we want to help this project. And that is the way you should see it. You should see the media as your friends who want to help you to succeed. And when you talk to them, that is in that context. So that's just my advice to them. Focus on your art and focus on being number one.
All right, great. Chika Chukwumerije, Olympian mentor and a powerful advocate for athletes' development. Thank you for sharing your insight with us today. I like the way you smile when you look at it. Thank you so much for your insight today. I just really needed you to tell the story for people to understand your passion, your discipline, and how you shape the minds of younger generation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we've had the journey of greatness isn't just about skill and performance. It's also about connection, communication, and stepping confidently into the spotlight. More coming up after this timeout. It's still Global Morning Weekend. Please stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into variety of